All right, folks, in this one, we're going to be talking gold, silver, and DLT. I got a little clip from Christine Lagarde talking about their interest in distributed ledger technology and tokenizing gold, silver, and everything else. This internet of value that is rolling out before us. Full update for you guys here. Let's check it out. Current events, cryptocurrency, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin has cooled off a little bit. We're kind of moving up here again, 27,761. We're up a couple $100 since I recorded an update about an hour ago. Okay, this is update number 2 on the day. And what we're looking at here, the events over the last month from the Kobesi letter. First off, we have the collapse of First Republic Bank. Next, the Fed raises interest rates by 25 basis points. Then we get the interest rate futures add 50 bips in rate hike expectations. That's currently underway. Next meetings in June on whether or not they're going to determine raising interest rates again. We'll get to see that next month. Then mortgage rates hit a fresh high of 7.1%. Then we got the total household debt hits record 17.1 trillion. PCE inflation rises for the first time since October of 2022. And now remember, PCE inflation is the preferred inflation gauge of the Fed. So for the first time since October 2022, it has risen, i.e. why the interest rate futures are adding 50 bips in rate hike expectations. Finally, the U.S. debt ceiling crisis comes days away from default. We'll see if that deal ends up getting done. Yet the stock market is up 1% over the last month. This is the most resilient market in history. Now, what you have, folks, is a market that is hanging on for dear life. Prometheus Research says this: the view for the markets ahead. First off, our systematic view is that we are headed toward a stagflationary recession. This suggests contracting real GDP growth and higher than comfortable nominal spending, creating inflation above the Fed's inflation target. A stagflationary recession is brutal, folks, because you have the real economy contracting, real GDP growth contracting, while the prices still remain higher. Next, within this bigger picture view, we have also flagged that markets will likely price the slowing of inflationary pressures following last year's price shocks. We think a significant part of this move is likely to be behind us. And looking ahead, headwinds continue to accumulate for assets. We think capital preservation is the most important thing today as these macro cross currents resolve themselves. The time to ride consistency into macro market pricing will come. Now, we talked about this in the update that I just dropped, investing in XRP gone wrong. We talked about a gentleman who, TikTok investor, leveraged and mortgaged his whole house about a year or so ago when XRP was above $1. So now memes are being made fun of them and people are making fun of them. But the point that we were trying to make in that video was talking about hedging your portfolio with the barbell portfolio strategy of risk on assets. And then we have the conservative side of our portfolio, right? That makes up your barbell, your even weight, a balanced portfolio where you can sleep well at night knowing that you have your conservative plays, and then you can get upside opportunities with the more riskier assets as well. And now what we're seeing right now, as they're saying, stagflationary recession, that's the worst, folks, because that means Main Street's contracting, folks are going to lose their jobs, folks aren't going to be able to afford their house, but the prices continue going up. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to get dicey out there. And now you add this factor to it as well. The new debt ceiling deal would resume student loan payments on July 31st if it passes on Wednesday. This is 1 month sooner than previously announced date of August 30th. Currently, there are 1.6 trillion in student loans. Payments have been suspended since 2020. Student loan payments will generate $5 billion in interest per month. That's staggering. That's staggering, folks. $5 billion in interest per month on the student loan. This is on top of the record credit card debt and interest rates. The debt crisis is worsening. And the other thing to consider, folks, is remember, most of the folks that have student loan debt are the younger millennial, 20 to 40, 45 years of age, right? And this is the generation and the age groups that have the most amount record credit card debt and interest rates. This is not going to be good. Amy Nixon further comments on this. In regards to the student loan payment pause gone under the debt ceiling deal, what does it mean? Amy Nixon says it means the housing market is dead for millennials and younger, who will take on a $5,000 a month mortgage for a $600,000 fixer-upper in the Dallas suburbs at a 7% interest rate with another $300 a month payment slapped back on their plate. And, that's assuming that their student loans, $300 a month. Obviously, $600,000 is going to get you a fixer-upper in the Dallas suburbs, and that's going to cost you $5,000 a month. I'll tell you what, $600,000 gets you that standard family home in my neighborhood too. So yeah, for the average person and for the millennial, someone my age, I'm on the far end here of the millennial generation, the youngest of the cohorts of the millennial generation. My friends, my folks that I'm talking to, the people that I see, ain't nobody trying to make $5,000 a month in a mortgage payment. For a $600,000 fixer-upper house in Dallas, you get something similar in my neck of the woods. I mean, you can get a cookie-cutter home in one of the new developments that you could basically push over. They're built so poorly. Or you get yourself a fixer-upper for that same $600,000. You're into it $5,000 a month. Now we're going to tack back on the student loans. And then for those that were, not responsible, while they had a break from paying their student loan debt, they should have been saving that money, right? But most of them were investing in meme coins and crypto investors, right? And so they were playing around with it, gambling it, blowing it. And so they blew it. And now we come back around and now it's time to pay up. They've racked up record credit card debt, and the interest rate on these credit cards is also at the highest levels ever. Amy Nixon says, clarifying this point of this tweet, a popular housing bull case is the size of the millennial Gen Z demand for homes. Young people take out mortgages. This makes it harder. I am 100% in favor of resuming student loan payments and the housing market undergoing a price correction. Amen, right? We got to make folks pay back. These are loans that they took out, right? And then we're going to see a price correction, and this is going to be a healthy correction for the markets. And I wanted to let you guys know we have a full real estate class coming up this Saturday within our Discord group. If you're looking to get tapped in, just head on over to my website, sign up for the Patreon, and get access to the Discord group so you can show up for all of our weekly calls. And this coming Saturday, we're having an updated real estate session. And in anticipation of that, I got a real estate update myself that I'm going to be dropping this week as well. So full real estate update coming, and then we're going to have a deep dive by a real expert in the space who's going to be running that class for us on Saturday. So if you're looking to get into the Discord group and participate in that weekly call, we would love to have you. Head on over to the website, zachrector.com, and check it out. Now, Jamie Dimon says, everyone should be prepared for rates going higher from here. Let's take a listen in on what CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, has to say about interest rates.
I think there's a chance you can have, you're already seeing credit tightening up. Because, the easiest way for a bank to retain capital is not to make the next loan. So I think you are going to see that. And I think everyone should be prepared for rates going higher from here. That if 5% is not enough in Fed funds, and I've been advising this to clients and banks, you should be prepared for 6, 7. You should be prepared for on the 10-year bond. And I also feel this way. The Fed doesn't control the 5 or 10-year rate. They control the overnight rate. So while they've been raising the overnight rate, there's still too much liquidity in the system, which is why stocks are high, bond spreads are still, you all talk about recession, not if reflected in bond spreads. So I think there's a chance you can have rates ticking up, and not to 3.78. I'm talking about 4.25, 4.5, 5, 6, hell, maybe even 7. I would be prepared for higher rates if I were someone. Whether it happens or not, we don't know, but you should be prepared for it. You're already seeing credit tightening up.
Wow, now that's pretty bold. That's what we've been tracking as well, though. I'm going to leave out all my other comments on Jamie Dimon, but you guys know he's someone who's tapped in, who knows what's coming next. And this was at JP Morgan Investor Day, I guess, when he made these comments. And so he says that everyone should be prepared for rates going higher from here. And we have to understand, right, as we were talking about, this means stagflation, a stagflationary recession, which is absolutely brutal. Because you're losing your job, the cost to borrow goes up. Like he says, they're going to tighten credit, and they've already started. They're not going to give you credit for your new business startup. They're not going to give you credit for your mortgage unless you want to pay 7%, and you're going to have a $5,000 a month mortgage on a $600,000 house. That's the current, and the median home price in America right now is about $500,000, right? Maybe it's a little bit over $500,000, I think. Maybe it's 400,000 or $500,000, regardless. $3,000 a month, $3,500, $4,000 a month in a payment. Most people can't swing that. And a lot of people are going to get caught off guard here because the recession is going to mean that people are going to be losing their jobs. We're not buying this unemployment data as the lowest levels ever. We know they're manipulating that data as well. Now, continuing on, folks, we're watching this closely. What's the next event? What's the next excuse? How are we going to roll out this recession, and who are we going to blame? What can we blame, right? We know they like order out of chaos. And this is maybe, I'm just going to show you guys this and you guys can make up your own mind. Disease X poses a threat of a deadlier pandemic, warns the COVID experts. So, folks, I don't know what's coming next. I was talking in our Discord group this last week. Apparently, there's another new strain going on. There's been talks of another wave coming. My mentor, Dan Pena, told me that there's going to be a fourth and a fifth wave, and we're going to live with some form of that forever, is what he says. And, we'll see what happens here, folks. But I'm watching right now to see what they have planned in store for us. Because the default was one thing here. It looks like we're going to avoid that. We'll see. They're supposed to be voting on Wednesday, I guess. But we'll see what happens there. You have the war obviously continuing, the banking crisis continuing. And we know that they like to cover this stuff. They like to cover the fundamental problems with the economy with some sort of excuse. Now, that doesn't mean that this is going to be fake. It's just, what do they have coming for us next, and how do we prepare? Now they're calling it Disease X, which I find interesting, that name, Disease X. And then in regards to us defaulting, they were referring to the day that we could no longer pay our obligations as X Day. Interesting nonetheless. We stay prepared, we stay ready, and the XRP community is not slowing down. We are not letting up when it comes to exposing this corruption. And when I tell you guys that it's so much bigger than this lawsuit, it is. But this lawsuit has spurred so much inspiration between the Twitter sleuths who are so over the target, and we're still finding bombshell evidence of the corruption at the highest levels to this day. This one here from Mr. Huber shared here today. He says, boom. Jeffrey Alberts was the lawyer for Prior Cashman who organized the piece of paper for the Ethereum ICO for Lubin in 2014. Now guess who he worked with as assistant attorney at the U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District of New York until 2013. That's right, then SEC New York Regional Director, later SEC Enforcement Director, and now Simpson Thacher partner Mark Berger, who would file the lawsuit against Ripple. Jeffrey Alberts of Prior Cashman asked his old buddy Mark Berger of the Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, who was now SEC Regional Director of New York, for a piece of paper. As luck would have it, Mark Berger later becomes Enforcement Chief of the SEC and leads the investigation into Ripple in its final stages, and happens to become a partner at Hinman's law firm, a member of the Ethereum Regulations Lobby Group. So the connections continue to get exposed. Jeffrey Alberts, this gentleman right here, all part of it. And they say in this piece right here, trails blazed. In 2014, let's take a look at this. Trails blazed. They brag about this, right? These guys are leading innovation. They're bragging about what they did. In 2014, Alberts helped structure the initial public sale of Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency in the world behind Bitcoin. The initial public sale sounds like an IPO, sounds like an ICO, and it sounds like an unregistered securities offering. The second largest cryptocurrency in the world behind Bitcoin. His work with Ether became the model for many subsequent ICOs in the space. Less than a year later, Alberts co-authored a law review article entitled, "Is Bitcoin a Security?" in which he concluded that Bitcoin was not subject to regulation as a security under U.S. law. The SEC recently concluded that Ether and Bitcoin are not securities, effectively adopting the legal interpretation Alberts had articulated years ago. That conclusion from the SEC is a groundbreaking moment for the whole system. He has also represented the Ethereum Foundation, a Swiss nonprofit organization promoting the Ethereum platform. So to this day, 2.5 years into the lawsuit, they better wrap this thing up. They better settle. They better close this thing up, and they better run, because we are going to continue staying over the target and exposing what took place. And victory is coming for the XRP army, folks. We are so dang close. Don't know if it's this week, next month, Brad says weeks. Everybody on Team Ripple says we get an answer this year. Maybe we go to the Supreme Court and it takes us 2 years. God willing, we are going to defeat them here soon. But we have to understand that the utility is also not slowing down. The partnerships continue to grow. So we're exposing the corruption, and that's never going to end until they give us this level playing field, until they set things right in this country. Not just for XRP, but in this country, right? And then what's also not stopping, what's also not slowing down is the utility and the partnerships continuing to grow. Now, this tweet here from Anders, he says, observe how correspondent banks still having some role with the XRP pool. So you guys take a look at this. This is drafted up. I don't know where he pulled this from. This is a document that's been circulating around for a while. Excuse me. But it says, by consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed and international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool, respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. Here is how. And here is how you do it. And here is how it is getting done. We go to this next article right here, Wrath of Kahneman, and you are starting to see this get built out in real time. All of these connections. What we have here, Wrath of Kahneman shares this. Ripple partner Tranglo, investment made by Ripple, right? Ripple owns part of Tranglo, and Tranglo is also very involved in XRP ODL, has partnered with Al Ansari Exchange, also a Ripple user, the largest outward personal remittance and FX foreign exchange company in the UAE. They will use Tranglo Connect for cross-border payments. Will ODL follow? Will settlement with XRP follow? That's what that question means. Will ODL follow? Remember, ODL equals XRP. All ODL is XRP, not all of RippleNet is XRP. That's the distinction. But remember, we go back. Previously, Al Ansari has worked with Ripple to connect with Money Match using RippleNet. Al Ansari Exchange, the UAE-based foreign exchange and worldwide money transfer company, expanded its partnership with Ripple, and they were using RippleNet. Al Ansari Exchange taps RippleNet Cloud to enable cross-border remittances. So this did not take long. As Anders says right here, Ripple expands into the Middle East, deepens commitment with a new regional base there in Dubai. Anders says didn't take long for them to fire up new partnerships, new announcements being made here. Tranglo now partnering with Al Ansari, even though Ripple's already been working with Al Ansari. Ripple owns part of Tranglo. You see the connections being made, and you see how by consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool, respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. And you guys are seeing it get built out here in real time. No lawsuit is slowing this down. Now, as I titled this episode here, Gold, Silver, and DLT, we found a little clip here. Baba Kug shares this one from Christine Lagarde, and she's going to talk here about gold and silver getting tokenized through DLT technology. Now remember, Christine Lagarde used to be head of the IMF, then she is now currently serving as the head of the European Central Bank, someone who's part of the elite, been tied in, and she's sitting at every single table, every single discussion that matters when it comes to rolling out this new financial system. Let's listen in on what she has to say in regards to tokenizing gold and silver. You guys take a listen here.
The role of gold and silver and how it can be associated with distributed ledger technology. It's something that we have not explored, but certainly we are very, very keen to explore distributed ledger technology for all sorts of purposes, particularly in the fintech world. The role.
There you have it. She says that they have not explored it yet, but they are very keen to exploring tokenizing essentially a whole internet of value. And so just remember here, folks, that as we see all of these countries going to gold-backed, all these countries issuing gold-backed digital currencies, everything is about to get tokenized, not just gold and silver, but everything of value from even your data, right? You're going to be able to, I saw the new GTA 6 might have play to earn, right? You're going to be able to literally make money playing video games. The Fortnite skin that you're going to buy, you're going to be able to convert that for actual money in the real world too, right? Every form of value gets tokenized, put on DLT technology. And I want you guys to watch how Christine Lagarde, she kind of squirms, we haven't looked at it yet, right? Officially, Of course, officially, we haven't looked at it yet. But of course, she says we are keen to looking into it for tokenizing all sorts of things, right? So I just want everyone to remember how big this is. This isn't the crypto space being at a market cap of 3 trillion, and we're going to celebrate that. And we think that we've accomplished something. We are just getting started. When you saw the overall market cap in crypto last bull run go to 3 trillion, remember that we're going to be selling trillions of dollars daily, that we're going to be tokenizing markets that are valued in the hundreds of trillions of dollars. Is it all go to XRP? No. But we have to understand this shift, the fourth industrial revolution, comes into this space, and this window of opportunity for us to acquire these assets that are going to run and tokenize this internet of value is running out. Now, with that being said, the window of opportunity is running out because of the lack of being able to get XRP, the lack of being able to get these assets. And you see the same thing with XRP as you do with gold and silver. The supply is getting drained. There is going to be a supply shock. The derivatives, the ability for them to rig these markets and keep these assets suppressed, that window is closing for them as COMEX Rule 589 gets rolled out, and we start to see new laws and regulations in place to actually track and see who has the gold, who has the reserves, who has the XRP. We're going to figure it out, right? And what you're seeing right now is the front running of that by smart money and by countries that don't have a choice. This article right here to reiterate the point. Iraq boosts gold reserves by 2% in a single day gradual buildup. Iraq bought 2.5 tons of bullion on Thursday to bring its reserves to 132 tons. Our current plan is to buy small quantities over multiple times, not a big quantity in one go. So basically, Iraq has adopted a dollar cost average strategy into gold. Why would they be doing that? We understand what's taking place. We see the window, the gap here, this opportunity closing. So please take advantage of it. Start the process now. Whether you want a dollar cost average into gold, silver, cryptocurrency, we can help facilitate that all. If you guys are looking to get tapped in with us, everything is at our website, zachrector.com. We have affiliates for getting your precious metals. We have an affiliate there for the EliPal Titan wallet. If you're looking to get an air-gapped wallet that is a little bit more secure than some of these others, consider taking advantage of that right now. Our window and our opportunity is closing here quickly. We understand gold, silver, and everything in this internet of value comes to DLT. What we're investing in is what DLTs are going to run this technology. What I see right now is the liquidity pools building out. Ripple's building the liquidity pool for banking institutions, and it's called ODL. It's called on-demand liquidity. Right now, there's over 40 countries where ODL is available. 70 different payout markets for RippleNet, and you're already seeing hundreds of banks and institutions already joining this RippleNet. And then you're seeing some that have regulatory clarity and have the ability to use XRP. They're diving into XRP. And so it starts with the partnerships like we shared here tonight. Al Ansari was tapping RippleNet for RippleNet Cloud. And then Tranglo starts building out ODL, partially gets acquired by Ripple. They're building out the liquidity hub, not the liquidity hub, but the different liquidity pools over there in the Middle East, or it's not the Middle East, sorry, the South Asia Pacific region. Tranglo, big deal happening over there. But now you see that merger in the liquidity connecting between two different regions of the world right there, the Middle East and then with Southeast Asia. Tranglo, Al Ansari working together, and they're both partnered up with Ripple. And then eventually, when you want to use the secret sauce, that's when you settle with XRP. And what does it all go back to? Remember, why would they do this? Because by consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool, respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. They reduce their risk, they reduce their exposure, and less or none has to really be held in the Nostro account. You create that XRP pool, which is what Ripple's building out. Okay. Ripple's also building out the best liquidity through Liquidity Hub for all digital assets. This is where you get everybody on board. You don't want to use XRP yet, right? We can't use XRP because of regulatory uncertainty, but you can use other digital assets. We have a full suite here that allows you to come in, They just acquired the crypto custody solutions there too. They just acquired Bitstamp Exchange. They continue to make these moves into the infrastructure, full suite of technology, full capabilities for you to hold your hand as you get into digital assets. And then when you want the secret sauce, and then when you want the best liquidity, and then when you want to store a reserve currency on your balance sheet, that's when XRP comes in. So folks, take advantage of it right now. This is our time. This is our moment. It is coming so soon and it's going to feel so dang good. But in the meantime, stay focused, continue to press on. I appreciate everyone. Let's make sure we smash that thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Thank you.